What's poppin', players? Welcome back to a Two Penny Games movie review. This time, Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie. All three of us, just came back watching it. I am your host, Tavenbothel, here with my good friends and co-hosts. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hello. I'm not the Five Nights at Freddy's fan here, though. I don't think I should get introduced first.
No,
true fan.
It's just habitual to go to you first, Connor. Of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I guess, if you want to call him that. Say hello, Phil Shoemaker.
Hi.
Hi.
Why are you the fan, Phil? Please tell us.
I mean, I guess you can say I'm technically a fan. Like
you definitely know more than us about lore.
That's undoubtedly that's undoubtedly true. I know probably like 85% of like the FNAF lore. Like
awesome.
I know a lot.
Nice.
Way more than I feel comfortable sharing.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I was into the first couple of games. I never played them, but I watched the Matt Pat videos. Let
me tell you something, Tavin. You don't have to play the games to know what goes on in the story.
Indeed.
I've played literally 10 minutes of one of the games, so.
Yeah. Here we go. Well, let's go ahead and get started into it. Of course, we are going to start spoiler free, but at some point we will move into a spoiler section. But you can stick around. We'll make it very clear as to when that happens, as we do with every movie review. Phil,
but that's just a theory.
Yeah. Phil, go ahead and kick us off, man. How did you feel about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
Well, I kind of have two feelings on this movie. They say that there are two wolves that live inside each person, right? One that watches this movie as a fan and someone that knows the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, and one that's just there to watch a movie. The one that knows the lore is probably going to say that this is an all right movie. And the one who, I'm probably all right to good. And the one who is just there as for a movie, thinks that this is just fine. Just fine.
Is it just fine?
Yeah. I think this is. Whenever I had texted you guys about whenever I had watched the movie, because I watched it a night before pretty much everybody else in the world, being the one person that works in a movie theater and whatnot. And I thought that this is about as good of a movie version of this IP there could be. Like they did about as well as they could with what they had. Because I very much was expecting way worse. Because it's kind of a crapshoot when it comes to video game movies, especially video game movies. And especially ones based off of horror games. Let's just say, I don't think that it just wasn't scary.
Then finally he gets to the meat. Go.
This movie just wasn't scary. You'd think that with the games being so reliant on jump scares that there would be way more jump scares. There was maybe 2 in the whole movie.
I don't know, 2 or 3, something like that.
There was a moment in the beginning where I was like, wow, this is Saw. Like very Saw, the opener here. But I think overall, I like this movie, question mark. I like some of the performances we got from, Josh Hutcherson is doing a good job. I loved his name is escaping me. Shaggy.
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. Yeah.
Lillard. Yes.
I think he's probably my favorite part of the movie, even though he's barely in it. But I Five Nights at Freddy's. They're gonna make 2 more, and because this movie has made insane amounts of money. I think it's Blumhouse's. They said it was the biggest premiere ever for Blumhouse. So, they're gonna be ready for more. Because he always comes back.
He always comes back. Yeah. Connor, where are you sitting at with this movie? Someone who's tangentially aware of what Five Nights at Freddy's is.
Oh, it's a pretty poor movie. The entire time I was watching this, I only thought about one other thing, and that's another movie called Willy's Wonderland. So it's a Nicolas Cage film where he goes in to be a security guard for this animatronic closed down place. And, like Five Nights at Freddy's, the animatronics come alive and they try to kill him and whatnot. But with that, it takes itself very non-seriously at all. Nicolas Cage does not talk. It is a silent protagonist. And he beats the shit out of the animatronics whenever he comes across them. So nonchalantly, and it's just, it's a fighting movie. That's what it is. It has a bit of horror. It's able to balance that with some other kills that go on done by the animatronics. But the real meat of it is just seeing Nicolas Cage beat the shit out of animatronics. And this movie was unable to really strike any sort of balance. It wasn't scary, as Phil said. It tried to go beyond the simple premise of being a security guard locked in a place, going away and fighting to get back against animatronics, which frankly I would have respected that more if they had just known what they were making, stuck to the simple basically one location, and had a lot of fun with it, because it is Five Nights at Freddy's. That's what carries this whole entire thing. It's the reason why this makes a lot of money and Willy's Wonderland did not.
I also think that just tonally, this movie was all over the place.
Yeah, it tried. Admittedly, it did, with Hutchinson's character having some personal connections to the events of Five Nights at Freddy's, but never really doing it in a way that made me feel emotional at all. It's pretty just, it's like I'm reading a book that, sure, you're hitting the story beats well, better than you definitely could have. Not in a bad way. I'm not sitting there, wanting to pull a bullet in my brain while I'm watching Five Nights at Freddy's, which easily could have gone that route, but it just did nothing for me. The writing and the character work in this story. And one of the things I also did like, though, was they kind of would do a tongue-in-cheek jump scare joke where it was this, little statuette that would just zoom in on his face, jump scare noise. It was not scary at all, but it was funny that they just kept committing to that bit, as well as including the classic Five Nights at Freddy's Foxy scream, or whatever the hell he does. I can't replicate it, but, they had those bits in there, and, of course, bits of lore, which I'm somewhat aware of through just being aware of Five Nights at Freddy's being such a popular IP for all these years. Like, we'll get into spoilers later, but you probably already know what I'm talking about. The traits of what makes Five Nights at Freddy's, particularly the things that were covered in those lore videos done by like Matt Pat, which got this as popular as it was in the first place. But definitely, if you don't know anything about this, you're just kind of sitting there like, okay, I guess this is the plot and this is what's going on. There's no reference to get. And so it makes sense why Phil would have a higher opinion of this show, taking into consideration all the stuff he knows about it, and then feeling kind of whatever on it, on its own merits, because it really is just a whatever movie. But I decided to go the more critical route, and I'm going to say it's a poor film. Film being stressed.
Haven't.
Yeah.
Take a big sigh right there.
Yeah. This movie fucking sucks.
He did during the movie.
This movie is bad. This is a bad movie. It's boring as shit. It jumps the shark way too early. If you want to build a franchise off of this, the plot of this movie is what movie 3 or 4 should have been, not what movie 1 should have been. Introducing us to some of these concepts and so forth. Listen, I'm tangentially aware of Five Nights at Freddy's. I was 16 when the first game popped off. So, yeah, I was on the internet. I was watching Game Theory. I watched all that shit. I know some of the things that happened. Dude, jumped way too deep into the lore, way too fast, way too early, and used these crazy concepts as if it was just like a thing that people just come up with in their heads. You know how long it would take me to come to the conclusion that the main characters come to in this movie? Not even as like a oh, this is a big major plot point. No, it's just a casual thing that happens. None of these actions, these motivations don't make any fucking sense. It's a fucking snooze fest. It's not scary. It's got one cool-ish kill. Even then, it's more funny than cool. I'm laughing at the movie more than I'm not even like I'm not laughing with the movie. It's not like a movie that knows it's bad. It takes itself way too seriously. And it's I got in the car with Connor on the way home and I was like, this is the second worst Saw movie I've ever seen. And it's definitely the most boring Saw movie I've ever seen. Like, this shit sucked, man. PG-13, boring ass Saw inspired bullshit that like totally missed the mark on what it should have been and how it should have worked. Like, if this is a ridiculous movie that you absolutely should not spend the money to go see. Thanks for the free ticket.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I said it to them. This is better than Fast and Furious, which
No, it's not.
has a lot more going for it, and
No,
yet
it's
it's
not.
it's shorter and it bored me a lot less. At least I can take how not good it is at its core and just kind of play it off as a joke. That's
It's
the
better
best
than
thing I
like
can say about it.
Fast and Furious 1 and 2. Like, I guess.
No, I'm only giving you 2. It's only better
Like,
than Fast and
even then,
It's
man.
only better than Fast and Furious.
Dude, I'd rather rewatch every single Saw movie again before I watch this again. Like,
You say that
because I can laugh at Saw because Saw knows it's bad. Like, Saw is very much aware that they are bad. So, like, those are way more entertaining than this because they don't take themselves seriously. And at least they have the gall to, like, have a good twist at the end. Well, a quote-unquote good... They have a twist at the end. This movie, it's like the quote-unquote twist happens and you feel nothing. It's not even a reveal. It's just like, it just happens. And I'm like, all right, you got anything else here, man? I'm grasping for anything in this movie to be like memorable.
Just a Five Nights at Freddy's hater, Tavin. That's what you are. That's the only reason you're saying any of this kind of stuff.
Oh my
It wasn't. It could have been way worse. It could have been brain dead stupid in every way, shape, and form. But at least it had something to carry you through a one-time viewing. Phil, I don't know how you could have watched this a second time, but thankfully the podcast pushes you to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tried to be more. So my first time watching it, I was just watching the movie, and I was like anticipating having to watch it again, and then like maybe using the second time to maybe see if I missed anything or if there was something deeper.
What is there to miss? What is there to miss?
It's
Like-
basically yes. I instead I became the drink runner. I would go to the bathroom. I would get y'all refills. I would go get stuff for us. Being the one that already seen it and being the one that works at the theater. So, excuse me.
I mean, I can at least say like the plot is somewhat coherent. Like it's simple. You follow it. It's just the characters come to conclusions and figure things out just because the writer says so. Like, it's like there is a moment about somewhere in the middle of the movie where like the main character says a thing and I sit there and I go, how did you get there? How did you get there? You should not be at that conclusion based off of the evidence that's been provided for you. Like, if you squint and are reaching, maybe, but like, why are you doing that? God, this movie was it's so boring, man. Oh my God. Just a waste of time.
Really need to stress, go watch Willy's Wonderland. It is leagues better than this, I will say. And it has a delicious looking soda in the movie itself, Punch, that, at least it has that going for it. This just really does lose a lot of what could have been a nice, fun, quirky movie and takes itself too seriously.
Yeah, but I mean, there were so many. Five Nights at Freddy's is such a popular IP that whenever they were talking about bringing it to like the big screen and making a movie about it, there were so many other movies that were like trying to like ape its shit. There was obviously Willy's Wonderland. I think of the Banana Splits movie. I think of, which is more of a short. Well, I'm sorry. I think not the Banana Splits movie. That was a full length movie, but more of a short. The Hug. Little horror short about a little It's like basically an animatronic bear that's like has it's actually a killer in the suit or whatever, and it's a whole thing. But you know, they finally brought it, and you know it was a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. There you go.
It's so obvious watching it why they gave it a PG-13 rating. It was just to get more butts in the seat.
100%.
And it succeeded in that.
Yeah.
Got to get those 15-year-olds in there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're it's for their demographic, you know. That's the fans of the IP. That's how you're going to make money off of this movie. So you have to make sure that they can actually see it. I honestly don't think that this movie would have even benefited from an R rating at all. Like I just
fun.
don't.
It would have been.
Would it have? I honestly don't even think so.
Willy's Wonderland
would have given us something to look at least, you know? Like here it's like we can't show anything happening, like cuz we have to cut away before we get too gruesome or anything, and we try to go gruesome with it, but you just can't. But and definitely sometimes where characters should be swearing and they're not. They go, "Oh my goodness." Like what are we doing here, man? Why are we here?
One of the things that the movie actually did right, since we've been trashing on it, the animatronics look nice. You know,
they look great.
They were creepy.
Yeah, they were. And the one issue with them, and I think part of the reason why we also probably didn't get an R-rated movie, is the way that they moved. I never at any point thought, how are they going to kill this person and make it look scary or make it look gruesome? And they get around that.
Scary.
Yeah, and they get around that by just having all of them off screen, you know.
The only reason that these games are scary is because of the jump scares.
Which are easy.
And this movie doesn't do jump scares. Like that's what Five Nights at Freddy's is. It is equivalent to jump scares. And like I said earlier, there are maybe 2 or 3 in the entire movie. Entire hour 45.
My things is like, yo, this is a IP that you can build a franchise out of pretty easily too, and they blew their entire load in the first movie. Like, there's nowhere for this franchise to go from here. Like,
I mean, they blew the load in terms of what you know. There's plenty of stuff that that they didn't do here.
Yeah,
well, that's just because I know other things. But
they're using characters from some of the most recent games in this movie. Like,
they're using, it's weird that they I mean, Vanessa being the security guard for the most recent, I don't think it's the most recent anymore. I think they came out with a game, but being the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach game.
Yeah.
You know, the one that killed Glenn's internet because he pirated it.
That's hilarious.
Oh, hey,
that's
whoa,
hilarious.
We don't do that.
That's really funny. That's honestly really funny. Who's just pirating a Five Nights at Freddy's game? Come on, guys, spend the $2.
I mean, no, this one was a full price.
Oh, fuck that! Why are you selling Five Nights at Freddy games at $60? What are y'all doing over there? Holy shit!
People will buy it, and they did.
I think the first few were like 15, 20, but this one that got Glenn in some shit allegedly was full price 60. You know,
that's insane. That's insane.
Do we want to talk about the spoilers now?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I mean, is there anything you guys are like aching to talk about?
Well, anybody who hasn't jumped off now, do it in 3, 2, 1. So
I'm glad those kids are dead. We all jumped in on it. I don't think any of it was legible.
Because everybody knows Five Nights at Freddy's is about dead kids and they're in the animatronics. And any twist that this story could have told is already out in the zeitgeist. And so it almost should have just got it out of the way quickly and then let us have fun with it. Been more wacky.
But it's not like that. Like I would wager a bet that most people, mainstream American moviegoer viewers or whatever, they just know that it's evil animatronics. They don't know that there's dead kids in there. They don't know about spirits and ghosts and things. That should have been the twist at the end of the movie, is that Freddy is a dead kid, and then like next movie it's like, oh, they're all dead kids, or like and then like you have a franchise there, and then you get into the serial killer plot, and then you get into the dream science bullshit. Like you blew your whole load, dude. There's nothing interesting about these animatronics anymore.
You know, I would have really liked if maybe, you know, at some point they mentioned that they smell bad, because obviously the stench of death is very prominent when
Yeah.
it's actually there.
Well, it
So
happened
like why
20
why
years
were they
ago,
not
so.
That's the thing though. Is it? Because we don't know when this movie actually takes place.
I think they said it was in the 80s when it shut down.
That's when they said, but when does the actual movie take place though?
Oh, I thought it was present day.
No.
I mean, it's at least long enough for little boy Mike to turn into grown man Mike.
So let's say in the flashbacks he's what? I don't know, 8 years old.
I thought he was 12. Did the movie say the movie said 12 at some point?
Did they say 12?
Yeah.
At some point.
Okay. So maybe now he looks like he's like 22, 23, right? So 10 years. So this is maybe like the year 2000, maybe like 99, something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, it is kind of hard to tell when exactly it took
Because
place.
like look at some of the technology that's around that phone that's on the hook.
Old phones.
Yeah. So I think
phones.
this is like that's when this is supposed to take place. And obviously the stench of death doesn't go away that soon.
No,
like,
it doesn't. It doesn't for sure. Maybe I mean, you would imagine that home dude who's hanging out at Freddy's all this fucking time cleaned him out because he was like, this smells. Let me get him out of here.
well, no,
You
because
think?
that's how he hides him from the authorities.
but it's dead. It's
Right,
cold
but once
case
the
now.
restaurant gets shut down, the authorities aren't knocking anytime soon. So get the fucking
daughter.
corpses out of the suits.
That was
Well-
something that they only added for the movie is Vanessa is his daughter.
So, guys, are we going to sit here and rationalize things that this movie gave us? Because it really just delivered us Five Nights at Freddy's. That was their only
Homie
thought.
just casually arrives at the fact that ghosts exist. He's just like, are they? And then the little kid goes, ghosts? Yeah. Why was that? Why were you thinking ghosts? Why?
'Cause
What
he
in
saw the
your head
kids.
made you think ghosts?
He kept talking to the dead kids.
Well,
Remember?
I think
they were speaking to him.
there was one thing that I kind of liked about it, and that's like when they're in his dream, like each of the little kids is one of the animatronics. So like you
Yeah.
know, the one who's Foxy has the little hook hand, the one who's Bunny has the little bunny head, bunny like headband. The Freddy one has a top hat. You know, I thought that was kind of neat.
So is the blonde kid not Freddy? Is the blonde kid?
No, he's
blonde kid's
golden
Foxy.
Freddy. No,
Oh, he's
the
golden
redhead with the redhead. He's the one that picked up the little girl to come back to the.
Oh,
back to the place.
Okay.
That's him.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't put that
Yeah,
together.
yeah. So the redhead kid with the hook for the hand, that's Foxy.
Also, Matthew Lillard's character was the murderer. I think
Really
that was
funny to
also
put.
obvious.
Really funny to put the killer of Scream. Spoiler for Scream. Like really funny to put the killer of Scream as the killer. This
That's
movie,
funny.
they're both wearing masks and shit. That's funny.
That is funny. But that was a thing that if you were keeping up with the marketing, we already knew he was the killer. Like,
Did they say
Oh,
something in the
really?
marketing?
I have not
Yeah.
seen a single trailer. Maybe I did see
Yeah.
one when I went to go see. I don't know, something.
like in every sense of the way. Anytime. I mean, maybe it's just the people online who follow Five Nights at Freddy's or like know the lore. But anytime something like that was like, it was like, oh yeah, so he's gonna be William Afton. That's who he's gonna be.
Well, he played him fun. I'll say that.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I wish he was in it more. like,
Yeah, kind of a waste.
I
of
wish
that,
I wish there was
actor.
more characters so that like we couldn't easily guess who the killer was because they're like oh, let's keep his identity secret. I'm like, well, you've shown me one other character, like, and he was suspicious as fuck, so it's him.
dude, the lawyer character fucking cracked me up.
That was
Yeah, that
funny.
was a funny bit. Yeah.
He said, I should not be here. I need to leave. Like,
Oh, man.
it's like pay us $2,000. I should not be hearing this right now. I need to go. That was funny.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
No, it was the we could kill him, and then he tries to get up again. Like,
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was good. That was good.
I like how they solved the plot of the the aunt the aunt who was trying to take advantage of the whole situation just by killing her.
So
Very
what do
good
they do
solution
with the
to that.
body?
Yeah, they just kind of let
What?
things like
They just
happen.
just like man,
No question.
you know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
what was also funny, it was like she didn't even need the money from being with this kid. She could afford to pay these fucking scumbags $2,000.
Clearly affluent. Why? Why do you want this check? Like, they're not going to give you anything because they know you have money. Like,
because you have money, they're not going to give you any. Like,
ridiculous. Ridiculous. What do they do with the body, man? It's just sitting in their house. It's not even like it got killed in the fucking Fazbear. Like, it's sitting in their living room bleeding out. Like, what do they do? It's ruined the carpet, man.
They go there, they find her dead, they call the police, and then the police do not suspect a single thing at all. They just let it, like, yeah, I guess we'll accept this person just got killed.
They're like, wait.
Nothing else.
So your aunt wanted to take your sister away because you're a scumbag who beats people up in public, and can't hold down a job, and she's dead in your house.
It's almost like there was a motive for her being out of the picture.
Well, you know what? I guess he would have an alibi. He went to the job.
The job that is now torn down and collapsed.
I was gonna say, what's he gonna do for work now?
Like,
yeah,
they're getting this kid the fuck away from this man. They're like, you are clearly not able to take care of this child.
You guys are being too harsh on him. She just fell.
Also, how broke is he? Like,
yeah,
homie's got bacon. Homie's got spaghetti, cheese, like grilled cheese. I mean, grilled cheese sandwiches are
spaghetti's
cheap.
cheap.
Yeah,
let's calm down. Spaghetti's fucking cheap.
But he's got like bacon and eggs and shit. Like, what the fuck? Huh?
Taffin, you're reaching.
But also, that it's not that expensive because I'm telling you, this is in the late '90s to the year 2000. It's not that expensive.
You're still on that. I guess that would make sense.
I mean, the monitors, yeah, that makes sense. All the monitors are old. Even the TV at the house is old. Like, everything's old. So, yeah, you can put this in the 90s if you want, sure. Isn't this first game supposed to be in, like, 1995 or something, some shit like that?
I don't fucking know.
I don't think there's I doubt it.
I just wish Markiplier was in this movie.
Next one. Don't worry.
I appreciated the Matt Pat. I appreciated it.
I liked Matt Pat, but
It's a little egregious with the "that's just a theory" line, but you know, it was there. I chuckled.
They're not gonna put him in there and not have him say it.
Yeah, but could you figure out a better fucking line to cue it?
No, because it's perfect. He says lunch is the most important meal of the day, and then he goes, "I thought that was breakfast." He's like, that's just a theory.
It could have been about how Fazbear's is haunted. Could have been, he's working at Fazbear's. Oh man, you know that the word is that this place is haunted. What are you talking about? Oh, you know, it's just a theory. You know, like that type of thing.
It's just a cameo. He works at the coffee shop and, you know, the diner or whatever.
And nobody knows about Freddy Fazbear's? Like,
no, nobody.
They were having a secret clandestine meeting about how to get rid of a child out of the brother's home. They weren't talking about Freddy Fazbear. He couldn't lead into anything like that. He is Matt Pat. He had to say the theory and he said it and he got out. 20 seconds.
He is Matthew Matrick Patrick, dude.
Well, instead of having this asinine
it's
fucking
Matthew Patrick, but yeah,
this asinine fucking B plot about the aunt hiring goons to set up our main character, just put Mike and Abby at the diner, man. They're just going for lunch. And Abby doesn't want to eat because she doesn't fucking eat, and that's when
she's a kid.
And then you say, hey, Abby, I gotta talk to you. I gotta start working nights. Like, it's the only job I can get. I'm working security at the Freddy Fazbear's that got shut down. Oh, you're working at the Freddy Fazbear's? Oh, don't you know that place is like the shit writes itself. And the fact that Matt Pat knows the lore about Freddy. This shit writes itself. Ugh.
You're being too harsh on it, Tab.
Because then at least we have breadcrumbs for Mike to be like, oh, there's ghosts.
Yeah.
I wish they got Abby, you know? I wish they put her in the fucking doll.
That would have been dark, but it would have been respectable.
I was chuckling really hard at when the fucking goons go to smash up Fazbear's, and they start dying, but they start running around screaming like little girls. They're not screaming like grown-ass 30-year-old men. They're screaming like
and it's like
little
the
10-year-old girls.
Like beefiest, like bearded dude who's like screaming like a fucking little girl.
You don't even need to yell, bro. Like the scene of you running across the security camera sells it. Like, he's gonna go, what the fuck is he doing running from?
I love the that little girl who just followed the just a random kid in the dark places. Like, oh, come here. If that's me, I'm out. As soon as I see that kid run through that hallway in the dark, I'm out.
What are you talking about?
That's how they get the girl.
Abby?
Who had the best death?
No. The babysitter.
Oh, yeah. That was the one good death. It was kind of silly, but it was.
But no, it's the fact that she just followed the little child. Like, she came in, she saw the little child run through the dark. I was like, at that point, nope, I'm out.
Nope. Why are you getting so close to the machine?
Yeah, and then she just gets bitten in half.
It's got a mouth inside its mouth. I legit thought it was just gonna reach out and just snack on her. Like, I'm surprised that they even went to the effort of like having a ghost hand pull her up and through the
and
mouth.
It's also the ghost hand of a child.
Yeah, like,
well, it's supernatural.
Why didn't Freddy just pick her up and eat her? Like, why? I don't know, man. So many questions. Like,
the thing that I think was missing from this movie that's the most egregious that wasn't included, was the classic song. Like, the closest thing that we got was Foxy humming, but that was like barely even anything.
Well, Phil, I'm sorry they didn't give you too many breadcrumbs, but they're saving it for the next one.
I wanted the dum dum da dum 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 da dum da dum 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 da dum. That's all I wanted
for the credits song, though. Like, they use that in
no,
the
it is, but it's not in the movie, is the thing.
Oh, that's fair.
They, I really do wish they just kind of kept this to a single place and, dived into what Five Nights at Freddy's at its core is and made this a shorter movie. Instead of an hour 50, made it an hour 30. Would have saved money, I think, and it would have just been.
It would have made for a better. It would have made for a better experience. Like,
yep.
Again, Saw 1 is in a bathroom.
It is in a bathroom, and we
and
get
they do
some
way
shots
more
from
with that than
an apartment building. We get a really bad chase scene in cars.
Yeah. Like, make Fazbear. I understand you have to have the 5 nights, so the guy needs to leave. But like,
that's another thing. I meant to watch this and count the different nights.
Were
there only
nights.
4 nights?
No, it's 5. Night 4 is where Abby gets hurt.
Take your word on that.
Yep. You're right. No, he's right.
Because nothing happens until night 3.
Yep. Which is pretty accurate to the game.
Yeah. Which, all right, cool. That works for game pacing when your game is 45 minutes long, but when it's when it's a movie, you're just wasting 30 minutes of screen time. Like,
yeah, because the first one, nothing really happens at all. Second one, he meets the police officer. Third one is him and Abby.
Yep.
Fourth one is Abby gets hurt with Vanessa there, and then the fifth one is the final showdown.
Fifth one is shit goes down. Yeah, 5 nights.
Well, so
they at least got that part right.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys: will you remember this film?
No.
Well, I remember this movie. No.
Don't be so quick to say otherwise, because I think the Five Nights at Freddy's moniker is going to keep this alive in our hearts.
I'm going to say it right now. They don't get around to making another one.
They're
going to.
I think it was too difficult to get this one off the ground. They can confirm things all they want. That doesn't mean they get made. Like,
there's no way we don't get at least 2 more of these movies. There's no fucking way.
I don't think we're getting another one.
We are. Like, we're getting at least 2 more.
It took them way too long to get this one made, like, and get it off the ground. This movie was announced a decade ago. Like, it's too much effort to care. Like, sure, it made some money back, but like, it's just not. It's not gonna do anything. Like, especially because it got outperformed by fucking Taylor Swift. Like,
Tavin, are you such a Five Nights at Freddy's hater that you're gonna shoot down what is going to be a franchise?
No, I've seen this story before. Like, we've been down this road a bunch of times. Like, this is gonna be it.
Be so sure about that.
I'll bet a pizza right fucking now.
Bet a pizza.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm in.
I'll bet a pizza right now. 2 never gets released in theaters.
Okay, if it gets released, it's coming in theaters.
At most, you get a lower budget streaming movie.
Whatever, Tavin.
Did you know that this was dually released on Peacock and in theaters?
Wow.
Yep.
That's
I
so
forgot
cool.
about that. I did know that, but I forgot about that. I did not remember that until you just mentioned it.
Are you guys insulting Peacock?
No.
Better
Other than
not.
it sounds funny to say.
Good. Yeah, it is funny. It is funny.
Wouldn't it
All
be
right.
funny if peacock was spelled peacock? I think that'd be funny.
I think if we're going into that topic of conversation, we're done with this review.
Do you think Vanessa's going to take Mike's peacock? And
No.
with that,
Why'd you
ladies
have
and
to make
gentlemen,
it
thank you
weird?
so much for watching and
This
listening.
fucking guy. What
It's
is
just
he-
weird. It's weird that they made her Afton's daughter, and it's just like another thing that. Sorry, before we fully wrap up, one other thing that's weird. Me and Ash were talking about this in the car. When did he abduct Garrett, and like what order was he killing the kids and the little brother? Right, like.
Why
Was
does
it closed
Why is
down?
Garrett's ghost not a thing?
Yeah, right.
Did he just
'Cause it was-
successfully hide that body? Like,
I think it was one of his separate murders, completely apart from the animatronic. Because
he killed all these guys in the pizzeria. Then he's like, "Oh, it closed down. Let me go on vacation to Nebraska. Oh, look, there's a kid I can abduct. Let me go get him."
I mean, if you're going to be killing kids in a Freddy Fazbear, you're probably going to be killing kids in other scenarios as well.
here,
I
daughter,
think it's kinda your thing
here's
at that
this
point.
new toy plane. Just bought it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about where it came from.
Well, why would you?
I mean, when you're a kid, no, you don't care.
I mean, they better at least do like Vanessa is the Fazbear apprentice or something like that. Like to
Well,
No.
if you play the games,
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your Five Nights at Freddy review. Surprisingly, we talked about this movie for almost 40 minutes, which is shocking to me. I thought this was going to be a quick 20 minutes in and out. Thank you
like
so much
half
for
the
watching
movie.
and listening. Please like, subscribe, follow for more. And until next time, have a great time. Say goodbye to the people.
so yeah.
Bye.